jumping the meters yesterday, constantly at the very, very top, beating Moonkins, beating Death Knights, you name it, this guy would out damage it. But that said, they were committing him often to the defense during some of their pushes yesterday. We'll have to see how they do opt to play this one out, because Juan's actually playing the Demon Hunter for the team. They have Rook, who has been at BlizzCon. This guy's like a fantastic arena player, proving himself in Rated Battlegrounds here as well. Obviously, he's been playing Rated Battlegrounds at the top level for several years now. I've seen him at the highest ratings on the North American RPG scene. And I mean, it's really going to come down to the question of like Oz. He's playing the Elemental Shaman again, Elliot. And when they lost yesterday, he was on the Ellie, and we've seen how prominent these Death Knights have been, but actually neither of these teams are going for it. Maybe they don't need it though, because they're chasing Bailamos on the Guardian Druid. This is a lot of single target damage, actually, looking at the comp from SX6. Maybe they could just kind of truck him down through this defense.
So I still think that the Death Knight is really strong. I mean, Chains of Ice, the grip, and actually the only time we saw SX6 win Warsong yesterday was when they were playing with Oz on the Death Knight. However, I think that the Elemental Shaman is a really good pick into a team that is going to be running a Fire Mage. Oz is going to have to do a good job denying Greater Pyroblast, and if he can do that, I think just that little trade will give them a significant edge in terms of damage dealer. I mean, if Oz can shut down all the damage Baron is doing through Greater Pyroblast with Wind Shear, with Grounding, with Knock, then they'll pull ahead, and the Elemental Shaman, I think, has a little bit of an edge.
I'm just looking at the VOD from yesterday, and yeah, I'm confirming my suspicions. So Gore actually, Guruk, who's playing the Moonkin, he played the Vengeance Demon Hunter yesterday for SX6, and they had Juan playing Rogue. So they've actually opted to sacrifice Juan on the Rogue and put him on the Demon Hunter here, so that they can have Guruk on the Druid, which kind of suggests to me that they actually feel like this Druid strategy that was implemented by the Debbys is, perhaps even a better one. Like, maybe the Druids provide a little bit more self-sustained than the Rogue in the offense. Maybe they have more mobility. There could be a few different reasons why they think like that, but it's definitely very interesting, because when it comes to killing a Guardian Druid, you would think having an Assassination Rogue sitting on them with kidney shots, blind for the healer, etc., would be the best, but they've actually opted out of that in this occasion.
Yeah, Bailamos going to be mounting up, charging through the Horde tunnel, playing the Alliance side on this map. He will surely go and pick up the flag. So far, it's been a little bit more difficult for Juan. He has Seth Curry all over him at this point, just spammeling out disable root. Rook is able to back him up, and Juan will escape. So both flag carriers will get into the enemy base, pick up the flags, and we're down to sort of a 5v5 team fight in the middle.
Yeah, there's never really a question with Bailamos. Like, we saw some of the Guardian Druids yesterday struggling to get across the map, but Bailamos always seems to find a way to weave himself through the enemy lines, get to the flag. Honestly, he gets there just as quickly as Juan on this Vengeance Demon Hunter, and he's already pushing through. Bates going over to Graveyard, decides to go down ramp instead. Should be able to reconnect with one of his healers here, either Loxatar or Sham on the Restoration Shaman. He's actually baiting side to side. Looks like I'm not exactly sure what he's scared of, honestly. There's no rogue that could pin him down, and there's no one really coming for him other than Loxatar, which is his own healer. But either way, he's reconnecting now. A Hibernate landed from Guruk. Bailamos caught sleeping on the job a little bit there. But either way, he should be able to reconnect with his healer here. It's starting to look really bad. Like, Magnus is reconnected. The fact they got hibernated near the enemy base could be really bad for him.
Well, he got slowed down. Definitely going to be needing a little bit of help from his team, but he has Loxatar there. Both his healers in a decent position to keep him alive, so I don't think he's going to die. Varen looking for a Greater Pyroblast. Manages to find one onto Rook. Rook, it seems like he's going to be fine. Bailamos does manage to escape. Good backup from his team. And now, once again, we're in a situation where we have a big team fight in the middle. Juan is in his base. Bailamos is also safely in his base. Rook looks like he's going to be pulling back to meet up with Juan, and that's sort of the classic combo we see. The Demon Hunter, the Vengeance Demon Hunter with the Mistweaver Monk provides a lot of mobility and utility. It's a really difficult duo to take down.
Yep, and they have connected to each other perfectly well. So we'll have to see what the offensive resources are here from SX6. It looks currently that from Bailamos. It looks like currently Seth Curry is the only person that's in the offense. I think Verin was pushing up yesterday, but it doesn't look like he is on this occasion. Actually, they're going for a 5-man defense here, so they have a 5v4 advantage in defense for SX6 at this moment in time. I wouldn't be surprised to see, therefore, that Juan would be sitting back a little bit more, taking the team fight to Bailamos in defense, looking to wipe them out here before they go offensive. But Burnt has all of his offensive cooldowns up right now. Those Chaos Bolts are landing. The Solar Beam comes in at the nick of time to save Garukt here on this Balance Druid. But even so, still dropping lower. And this 4v5 is actually kind of going in favor of Bailamos right now.
Bailamos, I feel like they're not afraid to stall it out. So what we saw yesterday, if the map does go to a tie, we go to sort of a sudden death where both teams do get 1 point, and we end up going to battle for Gilneas. And I mean, this could be something that they're trying to do intentionally, where they're just hyper committing to their defense. If they can survive for as long as humanly possible, and they feel like they can beat any team on Gilneas, they could be playing into that advantage. I'm not exactly sure, because in terms of offense, just Seth Curry being thrown out onto Juan and Rook, I feel like it's really unlikely he's going to be able to take him down.
Yeah, I mean, I don't buy that it's a winning strategy to play for a draw on Warsong Gulch, like, especially if what you said is true. You know, SX6, the only map they dropped in the entirety of yesterday was Warsong Gulch. Oz is saying that he thinks Warsong Gulch is his worst map, like, and Bailamos' strategy, like, I don't actually know if they have kind of a win condition here. They don't have the Rogue pin down the Demon Hunter, and the Guardian Druid isn't going to be able to kite, which means that he needs the 2 healers on him pretty much constantly. So it's really difficult for them to get any solid offense going. Bailamos even dying right now.
Yeah.
Greater Power Blast coming through. The double Solar Beam beautifully landed by Garukt, actually hitting both casts from healers. Looks like now that they're out of that, they are able to stabilize some healers, and they do get the kill over onto Garukt. But once again, it is this threatening strategy, Elliot, where Bailamos looks like he'll just kind of play to survive. I mean, I just don't think it's... I don't like it. Like, I mean, let's say they do draw, then that's their best case scenario if they play like this. And it would just mean that, you know, they would end up going to a map which OS6 have looked better on. And then the worst case scenario is that Bailamos ends up randomly dying at some point, which could easily happen, you know, with the composition, the Fury Warrior, the burst potential from an elemental. Just, it's so risky.
No, it definitely is. And like I said, I feel like at this point, it's kind of a telltale sign. If they only send Seth on offense the entire game, they're not really committing. They're not trying to kill Juan. Like, that's the biggest thing. It's Seth forcing some healers to come back. It looks like Verin is going to be crossing the map, so they do want to look for a potential kill here, but he gets intercepted in the midfield by Garukt, and we'll have to see what exactly happens. If Verin can't cross the map and it's just Seth sort of left all alone, I feel like they're really not going to be able to take him down, but it looks like you can see SX6, they want to sort of clean up this offense really quickly, lightning lasso on Verin. If they can kill him, Verin will of course be respawning, and that's an opportunity for them to push in, try to get some pressure once again. And like you kind of talked about, it is a really risky strategy. If you have Oz, Magnus, Garukt pushing in, getting really aggressive on Bailamos, anything can happen. I mean, Guardian Druids certainly are tanky. You have a solid defense. They've shown that time and time again, but you can get bursted down. You get a few good interrupts, some good crits at the right time, and you could easily fall. So risky strategy indeed.
Yeah, so I mean, so that said, like, I'm really happy to see that Verin actually was trying to push in. He unfortunately got a bit clotheslined there by Oz, Magnus, and Garukt. But assuming that he keeps going for the offense, as we do see the tanks just got to 5 stacks, that means they cannot get the increased movement speed anymore. Assuming they can get Verin and Seth Curry on offense, I actually think it kind of plays into their strengths, because obviously Seth Curry is a fantastic Windwalker Monk. You know, we've seen him in the Arena World Championship. Like, this guy has been at the top of his mastery of the Windwalker Monk in those 3v3 skirmishes. So 2v2, he's going to be able to excel onto Juan. The question, though, is whether Verin can get there to assist, because right now he's back in defense. And, I mean, there's no offensive pressure. The only person that can die right now is Bailamos.
Yeah, and Magnus is all over him. He's doing a large amount of damage. Bailamos goes down to 50% health. It's just Magnus right now. Finally, Garukt moves in. A beautiful solar beam. Bailamos actually in a little bit of trouble. Oz moves in as well. Good burst damage. He's going to be able to stay alive. Finally get some huge heals connected. But that was a scary moment. That's what I'm talking about. At any moment, Bailamos could potentially fall. Garukt might go down. Good counter kill there for Burnt on defense. and that's really going to limit that offense. Oz could certainly fall, but I really like that offensive push. That solar beam from Garuk, interrupting both Loxatar and Hamsham. Magnus going in on the Fury Warrior, putting out significant burst on the Bailamos. Oz running in with a big Earth Shock as well. A few more lucky crits, and Bailamos goes down, so I think this is just going to be a rinse and repeat setup we see from SX6.
Yeah, lucky crits, and also the stacks are stacking up. I saw 2 more stacks in the midst of all that time. I think it does go up to 10 maximum, so we must be at least 8 stacks right now. So Bailamos will be dropping low, but I actually think the composition drafted here by OX6 is basically the Bailamos killer, right? Like, they've got the solar beam because they know Bailamos likes to play up top, and it means that both the healers will always be stacked for that solar beam. Obviously, Oz also is able to get the thunderstorms to knock Bailamos away from that turtling position. So they actually have a really nice setup for the offense here. That said, the defense from Burnt and Baron has been very, very strong. Burnt landed a beautiful Infernal Stun there to basically one-shot Garuk. And even though Bo has been sent on offense every single time for OX6, it seems like he really struggles to keep his team alive through the damage that Burnt in particular is putting out.
It's just, I'm just watching Seth trying to chase down Juan and Rook. Like, I'm not joking when I said there's actually no chance he's going to be able to kill Juan unless they literally fall asleep. So I just feel like Bailamos, their strategy is full on turtle. Like, they're forcing a healer back with Seth Curry, but that's really all Seth Curry is going to be getting done in this matchup.
Do you think, like, at max stacks, they go for a play with Varen, or do you think they're just going to commit to this the entire time, the defense?
I feel like they're just going to commit to this the entire time. Like, that's what we saw yesterday. They didn't hesitate to pull off this strategy. And we didn't see later on in the game where the mage actually went in. In fact, later on in the game is where we saw Varen sort of pull back and just play full defense.
Yeah. I guess like the best case scenario in this case will just be a draw. Maybe they'll get a wipe on offense. Like, OX6 do need to be careful, because if they get wiped on offense, 30-second res timers, there is a chance that Bailamos' team goes for something big. Especially, like, you know, they're getting the kills on Garuk super easily on this Moonkin. I'm not sure. I don't think we've actually seen Garuk on Moonkin so far in this tournament, so I'm not sure how confident he is on it. But he's been taken down in these fights multiple times very, very early on. We see another wipe here on offense for Oz's team here. Bailamos' defense working out once again, but it's been really close before the stacks even got high. Now the stacks are at maximum for Bailamos, so he's taking the most damage you can take for the tank. I believe tanks take 50% increased damage passively, and then the debuff is 100% increased damage.
That's a
lot
lot
of modifiers,
yeah.
And even a Guardian
Sounds like a
Bear
trinket
with
I
2
want.
healers. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. It would be a good alternative to some of the other right now. But Bailamos, he's actually pushing out a little bit. He's left his spot, and they're actually going for an offense after that wipe.
Ooh, Burnt's going to be crossing the map. Varen crossing the map as well. What are they going to do? But this is a little scary for Seth. As Seth falls, and that is really going to hurt their defense. Hamsham and Bailamos are the only ones that are defending right now. Everyone else is making an offensive push, and this is the first time we've seen this from Team Bailamos in Warsong period, so we'll have to see what they can get done.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really happy to see it. I think this is the only opportunity we said, you know, like, if Oz's team do get too aggressive, if they do end up wiping on defense, then there will be a slight priority in terms of Bailamos' team having the members there first. They do connect over to one huge Chaos Bolt from Burnt, hits him for about 70% of his health there, gets topped off immediately by Rook, who hasn't really had to trade out any cooldowns so far to the solo pressure of Seth. Seth is so low on health at this point that it's really hard for him to commit. He's actually vivifying himself in the backlines, but he just can't get damage over onto Juan, because if he chases, he'll just end up dying, which is obviously not a good situation. But now we see the Infernal Stun coming in from Burn. He is a huge priority to shut down right now. One Chaos Bolt, I can guarantee, would one-shot Juan if he gets it.
Seth, he gets a touch of death on Juan. Juan could be in some trouble. Right now, Vo's in a really good position. Throws out the Wild Growth, just overhealing Juan. Needs to keep him alive. Touch of death hits hard. There's the leg sweep. Juan trinkets out. Still trying desperately to kite away, but he's running into the entire enemy team. A beautiful thunderstorm knocks Varen across the map. See you later. It's going to be very difficult for him to get back into the fight, but still, Seth Curry will get taken down. A good defense from Team Oz, from SX6. Juan could still be in a little bit of trouble. Really, anything can happen with these debuff stacks, but it's looking like he's going to be okay for now.
Yeah, I think OX6 read the situation well there. They had wipes, so it meant their members were back in their backline. They were able to come back and keep Juan alive. But that was a really close call, and that's what I want to see from Bailamos' team. You know, like, they're committing to this turtling strategy, but when they do get the wipes on the offense, which they should from SX6, just because of their sheer number, like their numbers are, you know, 5v4, they should win that team fight, then they can go for this push, you know. Burn had the Infernals there. Varian obviously is such a high threat on this Fire Mage. If Seth Curry had a little bit higher health there, I feel like he could have helped his team actually convert that into a kill, but he had to go away and top himself off a little bit since he didn't have a healer, and that was ultimately what prevented them from landing the kill, but it was a good attempt. They will have other opportunities like that if they can wipe OX6 once again, but it looks like they're going to revert to this kind of stonewall strategy again for now, and OX6 will have the chance to take down Bailamos.
Yeah, they're going to be looking to just wipe up the offense from SX6. Seth Curry moving in once again. It's going to be a 2v1 situation, actually a 3v1 at this point. Oz has just had enough, I guess. He doesn't want to go on offense. He's just going to be committing to a 3-man defense. And they weren't able to take Bailamos without Oz. If they can take him down now, that would certainly be a miracle. He gets healed up quite easily, and looks like Bailamos actually changing his position, trying to get back to that platform, that little turtle area that he's been implementing so well. It's been so difficult for people to take him down, being able to just dodge out of line of sight, jump down, use the Z-axis to get back up, implement, you know, use the gateway Burton has available. It's just really good positioning, but he's kind of caught right now. There's been good damage coming in from Magnus as well as Garuk, but with this positioning, it's just really hard for them to finish the job.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe Oz just kind of fancies his chances of going to another map. You know, we're 5 minutes away from the draw. It would go 1-1, and then it would be Gilneas. And we already saw that SX6 have a very strong Gilneas, whereas Daedicus vs Bailamos was an incredibly close game, which very narrowly was won by Bailamos, honestly, off of just a mistake from Daedicus going back, leaving the team exposed at Waterworks yesterday. So maybe Oz and Co just fancy their chances. We see Juan, though, dropping a little bit low. Varian has actually committed to offense, so we have a 2v2 situation, but Oz in the back line able to shun and shut Varian out with that Elemental Shaman, winning the 1v1 with ease. But that was, again, a close call for Juan there, and now I guess most of the attention once again should be back on Bailamos.
Yep, Marin is going to be able to survive. Oz actually all over him. This is what I'm talking about. The Elemental Shaman against the Fire Mage is just, in my opinion, a counter in the 6v6 situation. So I think from Team Bailamos, the one thing I have to criticize, I think Marin specifically only playing Fire is kind of a detriment to their team on this map. I don't think it's the best choice, the best mage specialization. And if he had been playing Arcane, like I kind of talked about, but Bailamos could actually fall. Seth and Baron both got taken down. Oz charging in. If Oz can get there, this is going to be a really scary moment for Bailamos. They have to defend with only 4 members. It's not enough damage to really force Oz to get back. He's charging in. He's in Ghost Wolf.
He has Berserking as well.
Yeah, this is so scary for Bailamos. He has to run for his life.
Let's crunch the numbers real quick. 50% damage increase, 100% damage increase, and then 50% damage increase on Oz. This is going to be one big Earth Shock if they can connect it. Bailamos is out of cooldowns. He has no trinket. He got stunned in normal form earlier. He's running for his sweet dear bare life at this moment in time. Loxatar's with him. The team are chasing. Double healers are coming. They're really going for it, but there's no DPS to peel. Oz! Oh! So scary! Earth Shock for about 80%. Star Surges coming in. He gets the leap up, and they've actually kind of juked Garuk at this point. If they can get the Thunderstorm on Bailamos, that could be it. Magnos reconnecting. There's so many threats right now that Bailamos' team have to deal with. There's 2 minutes left on the clock. If they are able to get this kill, it will be game.
That was such good positioning. Oz almost one-shotting Bailamos. Like you said, all those damage modifiers really adding up. Bailamos went down to around 10% health. Oz still in hot pursuit. And chance there to deny Garuk as well. This is still a really good opportunity for SX6. It's a lot of pressure. Bailamos with beautiful kiting, though, I have to say. The defensive play from them, their ability to kite and escape that situation was really, really impressive, but they're not out of it yet. He gets caught out of bear form. Nice bash by Garuk. Amchan's still there for backup. Oz with a beautiful Thunderstorm, trying to get some damage rolling.
Yeah, we do see another knock though. Bailamos able to reconnect with his team. I actually think Bailamos played that basically exemplary, because he would have died if he'd kept tanking Oz there. Like, through any amount of healing, he was able to kite away. Loxatar reconnected to him, kept him stable. There's no dampening or healing reduction, so you need to stay with your healers as the tank. So he did a fantastic job. Now he's kiting away once again. The Elemental Shaman doesn't have the same mobility of some of these other classes, and Verin as well. Also, if he can connect a couple, Magnos gets hit. Now Bailamos, another Earth Shock from nowhere. That's going to be the Spirit Link coming in the nick of time from Hamsham. Magnus is somehow alive after eating a few greater Pyroblasts there. This guy does not care. Bailamos still low. Another beautiful Solar Beam landing double onto the healers. Bailamos, Maladex connect. He's at 1% out. There's no way he survives. They get the kill. They get the cap. And SX6 go 1-up in the series. Almost certainly here.
Oh, beautifully done by SX6. Their ability to just wipe the offense from Team Bailamos, keep up that offensive push. Huge burst damage from Garuk. Oz, Magnus keeping himself alive. The Fury Warrior was a beautiful pick. And they're going to be up 1-0 on this map with just 50 short seconds left. I feel like there's almost no chance for Team Bailamos to really come back in this map.
I can imagine Oz screaming at the top of his lungs a certain Wreckful tournament quote after this strategy has been broken through by the offense of SX6. It's absolutely incredible play from them to manage to secure that kill. Honestly, I think they were a bit unlucky to not secure it even earlier. Oz with that massive Earth Shock with the Blood Fury. I think Oz actually, I really like the way he played this one. He, instead of just staying on offense, which he could have done, he went back, made the safe play, won the 1v1 against Verin, which enabled him to basically safely push in, knowing that Verin would come back to defense, knowing that Juan would be completely safe in the 2v1 against Seth Curry. And then Oz, obviously, on the way, after winning that 1v1, picking up the Berserking. I just think he played this one so intelligently. And, I mean, if that's their worst map, then I'm scared for the other teams after that.
Yeah, and just to let everyone know in chat, I have not abandoned or betrayed the bakery, okay? I still like Fire Mages quite a bit. And I have to say, when I saw the team comp from Bailamos, it makes a lot more sense. Like, I think when you have Verin paired with the Destruction Warlock, as good as Burn, then all of a sudden the Shaman has a lot more of a difficult decision to make. If you shut down the Fire Mage, Burn goes crazy. You know what I mean? If you shut down Burn, then Verin gets to go crazy. So I think that's good, especially paired with sort of some of the lockdown Bailamos is going to have. I actually really like this teamfight composition coming in from Team Bailamos.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think this is probably about as scary as a teamfight comp comes. You've got the lockdown with the Rogue, the one-shot potential from both Fire and Destro, and then obviously Seth Curry to round it out, like all the utility from the Ring of Peace and everything. It's just going to be... this is a very well-rounded composition. Something that I think if you were to like kind of hand-pick like what classes work well together in terms of like old school 5v5 comps, like you would see a lot of these classes paired together, and this is going to be one big team fight at the start, so that's obviously what these teams have in mind when they do draft these compositions. One thing that's interesting to me is that they have opted for Garuk to stay on the Bounds Druid. He's not actually, I think he was playing Demon Hunter a little yesterday, the tank. He could have maybe gone over to the DPS Demon Hunter, but I feel like he landed some really high-value solar beams in the last fight and is feeling pretty confident on that Moonkin.
Yeah, I don't think you really bring the Moonkin for any sort of spread pressure. I think, like you sort of said, it's really that solar beam, that AoE interrupt. If you can nail that on both healers, that's an opportunity to get really aggressive. I think when he has the Incarnation up as well, that's when he can, pump out some really big Star Surges. And if they can get a kill with Incarnation with that instant cast damage, that's a great opportunity to get ahead, because when we've seen this map play out in the past, the team that wins this first team fight wins the entire map with just how high level both of these these teams are.
Yeah, and actually Bailamos got, I think he got taken out at the very start of that one, so he's already committed his Vanish here. His opener's actually been completely shut down by OX6. Excellent start from them. They knock him down, he gets kidney shot. Not a great start at all. Maledic's even coming out. Rook even fancying the 1v1 in the duel, so early advantage for OX6. Garuk, though, gets caught up in the double leg sweep. Good cross-crowd control coming in from Bailamos' team in the early stages here.
Yep, Oz win shooting Verin, but this allows Burn to get some damage out, although he has Frank 1 all over him. kidney shot on Burn. So they're really focusing on just shutting down these high threat targets, both Burn and Varen. If they can free cast, they will be able to unleash devastation. But if they're getting locked down, there's not going to be too much consistent pressure coming in from these two classes. And that's where the composition SX6 has selected is going to be a lot more consistent in the long run.
Yeah, they actually force out the life cocoon here, and here come the Infernals. So when you would really want to have an answer for big single target damage such as life cocoon, it will no longer be available for SX6, and Grook's dropping low. Double cheap shot from Bailamos. Nice play into the DR cheap shot. So much control coming out of this rogue. Looking for the first kill. First blood. Grook falls. The Infernals. That was actually excellently set up by Bailamos' team. Now they're looking to clean up. Rank 1 also falls. Does not trinket out of the stuns. And Bailamos' team takes, I mean, a big lead on this map.
That was really impressive. And like we kind of talked about, if you can get ahead in this matchup, Seth Curry is going to be picking up an orb. Who's going to be picking up the second? Looks like Loxodar is going to be marching across the map. He can pick up the second orb. If they can sit in the middle for a long time, if they can split res, more importantly, this is going to be really, really good. If anyone from SX6 gets locked down and taken down at this point, Garuk, if he gets caught in the stun, if he goes down, it's just going to be a slow march to victory for Team Bailamos.
Yeah, I mean, they really need to look for it, because remember yesterday, OX6 kept fighting these 4v6 situations and they were not punished for it. If Bailamos doesn't actually manage to get a kill here, their orb carriers will be exposed in the 6v6 and they might end up falling behind. Loxodar caught in a full kidney shot. No trinket available. Hamsham gets caught and stunned and feared on his trinket. Beautiful play, denying the orb. And once again, SX6 are not punished in the 4v6. They're able to wipe the orb carriers from Bailamos, and actually, despite losing that first team fight, they turn it around, and the advantage should be for them, despite the slight point disadvantage they're facing. They should be able to pull that back really fast here.
Yeah, it's been a really impressive from SX6. Like you said, their ability, even when they lose someone, they don't lose anymore. And when those players spawn, that's an opportunity for them to pick up the orbs, win the team fight, and now they're in a good position. Still behind on points. Right now, SX6 at around 100 points. Team Bailamos at around 250. Both teams looking to collect 1,500 points total. And this is the ideal situation. If you can collect both orbs and you can kind of sit in the middle of the map, if Magnus can get to the middle, that's when they're going to start getting a ton of points, adding up really, really quickly. And I can easily see them surpass Team Bailamos.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely could. It's very even right now. Loxodar actually gets stunned again on his trinket. The lasso, of course, we all know how lasso works. When you get the DR stun, it will go for full duration, meaning that Loxodar had to be Spirit Link there. That was his trinket. That was a lot of cooldowns. Meanwhile, though, they do get the kill over onto Garuk. He was exposed because he did have the orbs. And honestly, this has been very back and forth. Both these teams have they've committed everything. They're always picking up the double orb as soon as they win the fight, which has meant the points have stayed pretty even. Magnus looking like he may well fall here as well, down to about 20% in the smoke bomb. They can't get any heals to him, so he also falls. OX6 losing out on this team fight. Should be able to pick up the orbs, and Bailamos' team. I mean, this is so back and forth right now, Elliot.
No, it definitely is, but Bailamos is still way ahead. And this is the thing, when you pick up both orbs, you're massively disadvantaged in a 6 versus 6 team fight, as 2 targets on your team take 100% bonus damage. Right now, only 1 orb is picked up. Seth in the corner, just hiding for his life, trying to collect as many points as possible. As Loxodar does end up falling. Rank 1 now connecting. Full kidney shot on Seth with no trinket available. Good backup here from Burn with the Infernal drop. Will Seth be able to survive? Parry with the Turbo Fist, but the Stormbolt completely shuts that down. Magnus with a nice kill. Orbs completely reset. And still Team Bailamos in the lead.
Yeah, I actually, one of the big differences here that I noticed is that Bailamos, we said already that he's playing subtlety and how much utility he's had with that. Rank 1's playing assassination. I just don't think the slight additional single target damage you get from assassination is worth giving up all of the utility that the sub-rogue brings. Like a sub-rogue, basically, if the 2 healers stack, can control them both for about, 10-15 seconds if you have some of your cooldowns up, such as your duel, your double cheap shots, all of that with your Shadow Dance. And Bailamos has been making excellent use of all of that subtlety rogue utility. It's been fantastic to watch, honestly. He set up the first kill, he set up the first win, and his team is starting to take the lead. That said, though, they are wiping out a little bit here. Magnus has the orb, actually double orb for the Alliance team here, OX6. They're slightly down on mana, but they're winning this team fight, and they're starting to build up a fairly large lead here.
Ooh, nice smoke bomb kill on a Magnus. Gorik could easily fall as well. Vo trying to keep him alive, but he's tapped on mana. Gorik on the run, still just trying to secure the points. that he has. Seth Curry with a nice transcendence, just portaling right on top. That was so nice. Bailamos with a beautiful shadow step kidney shot as well. Good crowd control on Devo. Rook into the cheap shot, activates the bar skin, trying to survive. Ring of Peace gets traded out by Rook. Really good defense. Wasn't able to heal through the damage, but able to deny a lot of that damage with the Ring of Peace. But it's just so much increased damage when you have one of those orbs that Rook ultimately will fall. And right now there is a lead for Alliance on this map. This is the first time SX6 has been ahead.
Yeah, it's just bouncing here and there. Like we say, Bailamos has the lead, then SX6 has a lead. It's just, it really has been a back and forth. And I think a big part of that is because of all of these DPS are such scary single target prospects. You know, like you got Burn, Seth Curry, and Varen, three of the most bursty classes. Single target on the side of Bailamos, and then on the flip side you got the consistent damage of Magnus and Wank1 playing that assassination rogue. So really both these teams will one-shot those orb carriers, which is why neither team has really had the opportunity to push too far ahead. That said, Bailamos now with 2 orbs active, looks like they are starting to lose this fight though as Loxatar falls. Losing a healer with the orb is probably one of the worst situations you can be in for a team fight.
Yeah, Magnus with an orb, Seth Curry with an orb. Seth Curry drops into the midfield. Magnus looking for some damage. They can take down Seth. This is going to be good if they can pick up that second orb. Loxatar being down, massive disadvantage here for Team Bailamos. 5 versus 6. Magnus takes a little bit of damage, leaps out of midfield. While Seth Curry and Magnus realize they're such vulnerable targets, they're just going to be using the best positioning that they can to just avoid some damage. Magnus charges in, implementing that orb, trying to get that bonus damage out. If he can pick Hamsham, it's going to be another split res. Such a nice job from SX6. Now Loxatar, he's charging in. He's got a really difficult job ahead of him in a 5v6 situation once again, and this is exactly what you want on this map. If you can split res the enemy team, it's about as perfect of situation as you can get yourself into.
Yeah, they're going to get a big lead here. I actually think Loxatar made a fairly large mistake. I'm pretty sure he had the orb when he died. So I just don't think healers should ever pick up the orb in this situation. Like, losing a healer like that basically leaves you in that situation where you have one healer left for the team fight. They kill Hamsham toward the end of Loxatar's spawn time, which means they've lost so much momentum in the fight here. They're going to have to go for a full reset, looks like. 3 DPS dead. The stagger is going to come in. Varen will die. He's sitting in the ice block. I don't even necessarily think that he should, unless he's going to be able to make a great escape here. Maybe he will. He leaves Loxatar to be butchered by the rest of SX6, looks like. Maybe they will be able to survive this. I would be surprised if Loxatar makes it, but actually a beautiful wild charge. Maybe he can get away with some trickery here. If he dies, it's going to be probably the worst case scenario for Team Bailamos. He gets caught up in the cheap shot, does die, and now, like, look how much time they've lost. It's just, they've been fighting this 5v6, 4v6 for such a long time. They're falling so far behind on points. They do get the kill onto the flag carriers now. Maybe they'll be able to equalize it.
That was insane damage from Seth Curry on that Windwalker Monk. I think he actually activated his Serenity, I believe, and he was just able to wipe the floor with both those flag carriers, taking down Magnus and Garuk in a smoke bomb with the double leg sweep. Really beautiful plays from Seth Curry and Bailamos, and this is a good opportunity for them. They need to pick up those orbs. They need to start winning these fights. Seth Curry needs to not get picked. That was big burst damage from Oz. Can they keep him alive? He has to survive. Hamsham throwing in some heals. And like you kind of said, Hamsham has been put in a situation where he has to pick up the orb, and that's not necessarily ideal for your healers to be taking all that additional damage.
Yep, it's definitely not ideal, especially like with Oz. I think he's running the Sky Fury Honor talent as well, so those Earth Shocks sometimes can just be the most damage. Same with the Star Surges from Garuk. We see the fight has equaled out, both teams with the same number of points, but of course the slight disadvantage for Bailamos' team right now since they have the orbs. Their Hamsham ends up falling. Seth Curry will surely also fall here with the amount of stacks he's had. He's probably had the orb for the longest time I've seen of anyone so far. He was being very tricky to kill, but does end up falling. Now we see the 6v4. That said though, Vo is out of mana, Rook's low on mana. If Bailamos can survive this 4v6 situation, it's very important they don't lose members at this moment in time whilst Hamsham is resurrecting. But it looks like they're going to be able to stabilize here. And actually, if they stabilize here, I think they might be able to go on to win this one, because they can have all 6 members back. They'll be able to have the advantage with the orb, and they already have a point advantage. They're starting to really take the lead here.
Yeah, this is looking good. Kidney shot on Bailamos. Can they take him down? I don't know if they necessarily have the burst damage. It's good backup here. Hamsham does keep him alive. Waruk taking quite a bit of burst damage. They're looking to take him down. but he does manage to barely hold on. Paralysis on Rook denies the heals. Garuk falls. Varen could easily fall as well. We could be in a 5v5 situation. Magnus sleeps over. He's trying to get the execute. Unfortunately, unable to get it. He was denied. That was really good healing coming in from Loxatar to keep Varen alive, keeping Team Bailamos in this team fight, and they're slowly but surely inching into a lead with both orbs on their side.
You guys can debate whether or not we're doing God's work here on GCD TV, but we're definitely doing Bonsarmni's work. This has been an absolute slaughter fest here. Team players dying left, right, and center. I think both teams have kind of abandoned strategy at this point. They're just going for the orbs wherever they can. They're so close to that 1500 marker that they need to win. Loxatar caught up in bear form, but he does have an orb. He's going to be taking a lot of damage. Maledict's flying in. Star Surge is also, as he ends up falling. I'm not 100% convinced that is best for the healers to pick it up, because I mean, I guess it's good in the sense that they have more mana, because they're kind of cycling through their mana pools more, whereas Rook and Vo have been for a very long time now, like 2-3 minutes I would say. They don't really have an opportunity to sneak away for a drink, and since they're not dying, they're not picking up the orbs. Maybe that's actually why their team's kind of like losing this attrition battle.
Yeah, honestly, I just think Seth has been doing a really good job with that flag. He's using his Transcendence Portal really well. He does eventually get taken down now, but he did his job. He got a lot of those points. But here's the opportunity that SX6 really needed. They ended up winning the fight, taking down the flag carriers. Now they have both orbs in their favor. They are a bit behind on points right now, around
so
50,
close.
but this is such a close game. Keep in mind, right now, SX6, they're up in this series 1-0. This is the upper bracket finals. And Team Bailamos certainly doesn't want to go down to the lower bracket, but it is looking likely at this point with how close this game is.
Yep, big juicy Dragon's Breath for next year. Would have been proud of that one, hitting 4 members on the side of SX6. SX6 currently hold the orbs. 100 points left required for them to win this one. They are so close. Bailamos' team needs to push in. They need to shut this down. Rank 1 falls. Who's going to pick up the orb? Will it be someone from Bailamos? You see the Druids chasing for it.
Nice.
Go picks it up first because of the Mighty Bash. Huge play. They only need 20 more points. Garuk dies. Who's going to pick that one up? We see the Druids chasing in. Rook with the Transcendence Port. He's going to score the Ninja. Both the healers for the first time have the orbs, and SX6 are able to secure it. A 2-0 victory. They advance to the grand finals.